Howdy, folks. Marvin Forte here, KFNW Director and your host of the KFNW Current. Thanks for joining me tonight. On tap, we've got the top two anglers after day one of the 2026 KFNW 50/50 season long. We've got a free membership drawing and the latest news from around the kayak fishing world. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. Our title sponsor this year is Snake River Manufacturing. Our presenting sponsor is Diamond Parking and Self-Storage. We've got two tour sponsors, Native Watercraft and Boggs. And our media sponsor is Northwest Tackle. Thanks so much for your help. We could not run this series and we could not run the KFNW Current podcast without you. So thanks a ton. In other sponsor news, G. Loomis returns for 2026, upping their commitment with a rod valued at $495 to give away at each tour event, plus an IMX Pro V2 8-weight fly rod for one lucky winner at the Flying Kayak Open on Davis Lake this August. If you are a fly angler and a tournament angler, this one-of-a-kind event is a must. I cannot speak right now. Davis has big largemouth and trout. If the bite is on, it can be pretty crazy there. It's mostly shallow, pretty clear water. A lot of fun. We're still looking for sponsors for the 2026 season for KFNW for the tournament series and for the Flying Kayak Open. If you know a business that might be interested, put them in touch with me, please. In kayak fishing news, the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship is this week. Chickamauga and Nickajack Lakes near Chattanooga, March 11th through 13th. It's held alongside the Bassmaster Classic. It's a pre-spawn tournament with this time of year. Weather will be a factor. Both lakes are capable of producing double-digit bass. Our own tour sponsor, Native Watercraft, is the presenting sponsor of that series. Bending Branches has upgraded the Angler Pro paddle for 2026. Their new Lamlock Edge protection extends blade life by up to 5 times, plus a new Posilock ferrule makes it easier to set up. And with that, let's dive into our guests. I've got joining us first tonight. Sorry, I need to resize my window over there. First tonight, I've got Jeff Linson coming on to talk to us. Let's bring him in. Jeff, good evening.
Hey, Marvin. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Happy to have you on. I expect we'll have you back on, too, later in this season. I have a feeling you'll be on the podium. Let's see. Jeff, you hail from Shelton, Washington. I've got a few stats on you here. Let's take a look at it. You finished second in the 2025 50/50 season long. Your biggest fish last year was 2 21 3/4 inch largemouth, which was the 6th biggest across all tour events and in the 50/50. And you had a 21.5 inch smallmouth, which was the 3rd biggest smallmouth of the year. You qualified for the Classic, and you finished 8th at Potholes. You only fished 2 tour events last year, but you had a good day on Umatilla. You came in 5th in the Native event and 8th in the KFNW, and that's how you got in the Classic, was that 8th place finish at Umatilla. Thanks for joining me. So you only, like I said, you only fished 2 tour events last year. Are you thinking you're going to fish more tour events this year, if you can?
Honestly, every year I think I'm going to do 4 or 5, and I don't think I've done more than 3 in a single season. I started in 2022. I haven't done more than 3 events, but I've done well in a lot of
You
top
have.
10s. Just haven't made like podiums, so that's
Sure.
my goal. I think I want to. I'll probably commit to 3 this year, but hopefully do more.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you at some of them. It's a little better schedule for you, maybe, this year. There's some events that are not as much of a drive for you. So hopefully you can fish a couple of them. Oh, I see your buddies at PNW Bass Candy are here, wishing us a good evening. And there's Dan Ryder from PNW Bass Candy. Great to see those
What's up,
guys on.
guys?
Let's see. Are there any tour events, if you do fish any of them, or any that you're kind of got in mind that you're targeting that you'd like to fish that you think would suit your style?
Um, Actually, Banks Lake. I
I
kind
figured.
of, I that was the first event I ever got disqualified from. I didn't show up for the pre
You didn't make
meeting,
the check-in?
uh,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I had a really good practice, and I had some things going on in my life that I couldn't control, and unfortunately, it got the best of me in a lot of those events, and not sleeping and not being in the best shape to compete. And I ended up going out to fish anyways that day, and I had like 85 inches, so I had a like it sucks to think about, but I wanted to
Sure.
still just go out and fish
Prove it to
and
yourself. Yeah.
prove it to myself because that lake just kind of suited my style, and I think I could do really well there.
So you've been a mainstay in the onlines for sure. Like you said, even if you haven't made all the tour events, you've been fishing the onlines pretty steadily. And in the last couple of years, like I said, second last year behind Corey, and you started off the year right this year. How do you approach the onlines and the 50-50 maybe in particular? That's maybe different than a tour event.
It's all a timing deal. I mean, I guess it could be in a tour event also, but you have the choice between largemouth and smallmouth. And early season, I feel that smallmouth are going to be your best opportunity to get the quality and kind of like the numbers. Largies, you're probably going to find a lot bigger ones, but you might not get the
As
numbers that
many.
you need.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, I feel like
I
the big ones are maybe a little easier to find this time of year. They bite more. They're just more prone to
yeah,
biting, but
yep,
they are few and far between for sure. Except a
yeah,
few people in the in the 50-50 who've already put up some big numbers in largemouth, which is pretty impressive.
yeah. I caught a 21 the other day. That was
I
cool,
saw
and it
that.
was shallow. It was really shallow too. I
Was
mean, it
it?
was probably like 4 feet, and the water was 49 degrees. So it's kind of weird. I think the wind kind of had them pushed up a little bit.
Yeah, I hooked one
Yeah,
Saturday, and where I was fishing, the water was about 52, 51, 52. And it was very shallow. It was in probably maybe 4 feet of water, 3 feet of water, something like that. So yeah, they've
yeah.
moved up. And with this super mild winter that we've had, I feel like probably everything is moved just a little bit forward on the calendar. Maybe things are like I don't remember this many great catches this early in March last year, but maybe my memory's just failing me.
There the thing is more people got out, I think, early season.
Yeah.
The previous years I noticed it was only a handful of guys,
Yeah,
and
because of the weather. Right.
because the weather, because it is cold and the water temps are cold and it's tough. But I think more people have noticed that even in those low 40s, mid 40s, that you can still get on a really good bite.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've seen that. Um, so let's talk about the 50-50. Day one, you went out and you put up 95 and a half inches of smallmouth. That's crazy. How'd you do it?
Well, it was a long day. And honestly, I wasn't even going to sign up this year. I don't know. I've done it for since 2022, and I was like, maybe I'll just take a break. And I got talked into it by a 14-year-old that signed up this year, and so
Nice.
I took him. So I took him out opening day,
Oh,
and
you
we actually
did. That's
started.
great.
Yeah, we actually started at a different lake, but the bite there is really tricky. It's either on fire or it's non-existent, and it was non-existent. So we were out there for a few hours, and then we made a switch to another local lake, and the bite was still slow. And I think I had caught like four fish in the first 3 or 4 hours, and then Eli he had to leave, and then all of a sudden the bite just boom turned on. So I actually caught four out of the five fish in 15 minutes. It
Wow.
was I ran into a school of fish that was feeding, and it was just one after the other. And I even lost four fish that were 19 plus inches. So it could
Man,
have been a really, really, really good day.
that's killer. Yeah. Impressive. So right now you're sitting in second place, um, thanks to Brandon Hua, who it was the first angler to get a full bag of 10, five smallmouth and five largemouth, and some big largemouth
I
in
couldn't
that
believe
bag.
that when I saw the largemouth that day. I was like, he found, man, they were chewing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
To put up a limit like that in a
Yeah,
single day of largemouth that's huge.
totally, totally. It's impressive. Um, so how you feeling about where you sit right now? I mean, it's early.
Oh, I mean, I'll say right now, I don't think any of those fish will be in the final 10.
I think
Not
you're
even
right.
probably that 21.
I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, even the 21-inch largemouth, because like 2 years ago, my smallest largemouth was 21.75. I had two over 22 inches. And
sure.
so I don't think it'll be there.
You know, it's interesting. I've been watching sort of the ebb and flow of it, and the smallmouth last year, we didn't have as many really giants as we have like the previous 2 years. I would say there were big fish, but they were, you know, uh, 21s. We didn't have much over that. Like yours was, what did I say, a 21 and a half, and that was the second biggest. Is that right?
I think a lot of us had, there's
Yeah,
quite a few
that's right.
21 and a halves.
That was
Yeah.
the third biggest. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. There was a whole bunch of 21 and a half. So I had to figure out how to divvy up that. Um, let's see.
Yeah, this last year I kind of shifted my focus to smallmouth and didn't really do too much largemouth stuff. So I think I might do that a little different this year.
Yeah. Well, the largemouth are they're key. I feel like the smallmouth it's a it's more averaged out. I feel like a lot of people catch 19 to 20-inch smallmouth.
Hmm.
But there are a lot of people who can't get a bag of big largemouth. That they don't seem to be able to do it, or it's difficult. They might get one or two that are in that 21, 22 range, something like that. But they're always going to have a few that are only, maybe 19 or 20. And I think that's sort of the key. I think if you don't get five
Those
big largemouth, it's still going good here. It it's probably good live. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
It's
All
probably
right.
good on the live feed, but yeah, sometimes it pauses
Okay.
for us.
Um
I
so
was saying
yeah,
I
I
think the
kind of got
largemouth are key to really winning is having a full bag of big largemouth.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially yeah, you got to have all 21 plus
Right.
largemouth, and then you got to have a bag of 20-inch smallies, I think, to
Yeah.
really be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that last year. And yeah, last year I had different goals, outside of like the KFNW. I had my goal set on catching a 6 pound smallmouth, so I kind of just really just went after smallmouth, and
That's cool.
I accomplished that goal twice at the end of the year. So that was
That's
cool.
very cool. Mark Middleton joined us. He says, "You're both good live." Okay. I have lunch with Mark today, so maybe that's what he means.
I've
Literally
done
live.
I've done a podcast, and then I just started YouTube, so I'm kind of getting a little bit more comfortable. And
I've been
also,
watching your channel.
yeah,
Yeah.
I speak a lot in like recovery and stuff because I'm a recovering addict. So I do a lot of that too. That's kind of what's helped me.
Good for you, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
so, what got you into fishing in general, kayak fishing, maybe a little more specifically, and then even tournament fishing?
Okay, so it actually goes back to me being like probably I don't know 3 or 4 years old, and my family had a cabin on a creek, and I just grew up trout fishing, and I continued on off and on up until 2018, and my mom moved on to a place with a river, and I would take the kayak out there fishing for trout, and actually caught a bass, and didn't know what it was. I never watched bass fishing stuff or
Sure.
any of that, and so it pulled my lifetime sit in kayak across the river, and I was like, I want to fish for these. And so I went and did all my research, and I fished out of that lifetime for 2 years, um, and just dedicated all my time to bass fishing and learning how to bass fish, and found Greg Blanchard. And so I upgraded to a sit on top lifetime and fished out of that for 2 years, and just kept. And then I came across, I think I met JR Rollins,
Hmm.
probably in 2021, 2022. And then that's when I decided to join the KFNW, and I upgraded to my Old Town PDL.
Nice. And you've
Yeah.
been in Old Town ever since, right?
Yeah, until this year.
Until this year. Ooh,
Um, I have something new and coming. It's on the way. I got all the accessories and the motor and everything today
nice,
or
nice.
yesterday, but
Well,
waiting on the kayak.
that was that was my next question. Literally, was what kayak are you going to be in this season? But if you want to keep it under wraps, we can.
Uh, yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna do a YouTube video
nice.
and kind of break down why I chose the kayak I did and all that. So
That's super.
stay tuned
Hopefully
for
we're
that one.
creating a little suspense for that, so people will be waiting
Yeah,
to see what you
yep.
announce.
Let's
Are
just
you going to be
say it was like between three kayaks, and it was honestly months of like me deciding to finally like get the one I did. So
nice?
yeah,
Are you going to be running a motor?
yeah, I did get I showed that on my social media, so I
You
did
did.
I got the NK 300 HD, so
Oh, the new
got
one, the
that one,
brand new HD.
the brand
Yeah,
new one.
I
Yeah,
haven't
thank
checked into
you
that too
to
much.
Eco Fishing Shop. Thank you for the support.
That's great. Glad to hear it. Uh,
Yeah.
are you running FFS forward facing?
I did. Yeah, I added that last winter. I just got I never planned on it. I was old school when I first started tournament fishing with you guys in 2022. I didn't even have a graph,
Right.
and I did pretty good. I had I think a ninth place finish and a 10th place finish my first year, and I did fourth in the season long my first year. So I just kind of worked through the basic steps, and then I got a 2D, and then I went to down scan, side scan, and then I got an opportunity to buy a forward facing sonar last winter, and I took it
Jumped on
up,
it.
and it's been awesome. I mean, I just felt like I was ready to learn something new, and that's what it is. It's a piece of equipment, and it's a tool, and it's been you know hard.
That's what
Yeah.
I've heard. I don't run it yet, but that's what I've heard from people. Is it's a challenge, the learning curve.
Yeah, and I think it's different in a boat. A kayak's
Sure.
it's so much more difficult if you don't have spot lock and you have any wind at
Yeah.
all. You're
You're
not you're not
moving
going to
all
stay
the
on the
time.
fish. You're
Yeah.
not staying on the fish. You're going to know there's fish in the area, so it might keep you there. But then sometimes you get stuck there way longer than you should because you saw fish.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning curve.
I kind of feel like it's a little bit like bed fishing in a way, where with bed fishing, you know the fish is right there. You're throwing a bait to it, and you might get it to bite. You might not. You can kill an hour trying to get one good
Yeah,
fish to bite that if it's sitting on a bed and it just doesn't want to cooperate. And I think forward facing can be like that if you're really identifying a fish and trying to get that fish to bite.
yeah. Yeah, but
Any
it's
other
taken me about a year. It's taken me about a year, but honestly, now I can literally pretty much tell you if it's a bass or a trout or whatever on
sturgeon?
on it. If there's no wind. If there's no wind. If there's
Right,
wind,
right.
I mean,
It's
there's
all a
sometimes
blur then. Yeah,
I just shut it off and I go old school, and I'll drag my jigs and I'll do that thing. But
cool.
yeah, it's been fun.
Any other gear upgrades for you for this season?
Uh, I mean, pretty much everything. I pretty much building my first ever like actual kayak because with my old town, I just slowly added. Like each year, it was add one thing, and
Sure,
so
sure.
now I'm just going all at once and getting everything that I've ever wanted on a kayak. So
That's great, man. I'm excited to see it.
yeah,
Be sure and share it on the KFNW stuff when you do make the announcement.
I will for sure.
So I know you're supported by PNW Bass Candy, and you already mentioned eco fishing. Is there anybody else you'd like to shout out to, or anybody that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, especially thanks to Bass Candy. Honestly, I met them when I first started with you guys, and I mean, they've been a huge support for me, and their baits just crush it. I mean, there's
They
just
do.
you can see all the pictures and all the videos. I mean, it's just it gets it done. So special thanks to them. And then Eco has been great. I'm like the only PNW guy, so that's cool. They opened up their brand to the whole U.S. and so I got chosen as the PNW guy, so that's cool. And then I got on Monster Bass. Um, if you guys have ever heard of that, they do like the monthly boxes and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
I'll have some videos of those too, I'm sure at some point.
sure.
And Tungsten's Edge is where the tungsten weights I use, and then True Dave gear, which they make deck boots and muck boots and all that stuff. So you guys can
Okay,
go on my social, and I'll have links and stuff, and you guys can get discounts through all that stuff.
that's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else that you'd like to bring up that I forgot that I didn't think to ask you?
Uh, I think we covered a lot that I actually kind of thought in my head I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I just thank fishing for where I'm at right now in my life. I think it did save my life as an addict, and thanks to the tournament thing, it's really, I'm not super competitive, but it's like brought me together. Like I've met some of my best friends through this, and I love to travel, and it's making me go out and fish new lakes and try new things that before I wouldn't do. I don't care. I'll drive 12 hours and fish a tournament. I don't care if I get dead last or skunked. I went and saw a new lake. I met new
Right.
people, and that's what it is for me. I don't care about winning. Winning's nice, but I'm just there to have a good time and meet new people.
I'm the same way, man. That really resonates with me. I never saw myself. Honestly, when I first started kayak fishing, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do tournaments because I'm just not really super competitive. Like you said, it's fun to win. It's cool, but it's not a big deal to me. Like you said, I don't get upset if I don't win. I'm like, okay, or if it's
Yeah,
not going well, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just fish what I like and have fun and see if I can pick up some fish, and that's great. But
yeah,
it is cool and awesome when you do
yeah.
win or come close.
Yeah, the
Um,
season long's a little different because we're just, I'm close to a lot of the guys that are up there on the top, and so we like to just be competitive with each other. It's not necessarily like, you know, the whole
hey,
competition itself. It's
yeah,
like we're just having a good time together, and we send each other messages, and we
yeah,
congratulate each other. It's all in fun. So
the brotherhood, yeah, it's
yeah,
great. The
yep,
brotherhood and the
yeah,
sisterhood both are great. Let's see,
yep,
Jacob Jarvis has got a
absolutely.
question for you. How many inches on the season long are you striving for this year? What's your goal in inches? I mean, obviously it's got to
Um,
be plus 200, right?
I don't know. Probably I didn't really come in with a
With
goal.
a
I
number.
mean, how about like 212?
That
I just want to
that
get better
get you in the
each
top
year.
five, I'm
So
sure. If not,
I'll take
if
half an inch bigger than last year, even.
nice. I like that. Uh, Josh Latimer said, "Good evening. Sorry I'm late. Joff, looking forward to hitting the steps with you this season." Maybe you know what that means.
Sounds
I
good.
don't.
Yeah. Uh, in recovery,
Those steps. Got it. That's great.
I'm
Awesome.
assuming that's what it is.
I think so. Good to hear. Good
Yeah.
to hear that, Josh. Uh,
Yep.
Josh and Joff. I'm getting a little confused here. Um, well, let me bring Rich in real quick with all three of us, and we'll do the drawing because I did a little calculation before we got on, and because some of the people who submitted fish that were accepted on day one already won their membership back. Everybody who did have a fish accepted on day one they've got a 1 in 10 chance, I think, of winning their membership back. So pretty darn good odds. So let's bring Rich Childs in, all three of us. Rich, good to see you.
Hey,
Hey,
Rich.
how you
Good
doing,
evening,
guys?
sir.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you
Thanks for
both.
having me.
Happy to have you on board. Did you listen in on everything we talked with Joff about?
I tried to. It was freezing up a lot, though.
Oh, it was freezing up
It
for you
was
too.
freezing up.
Well, it
Yeah.
I heard
probably,
about
like I
half of
said,
it.
I doubt it is for the live folks. Hopefully, it wasn't too hard to follow. But I don't know. I might need to adjust the latency on this and see if that helps. But I'll play with that at some point. But let's go ahead and let me switch the view and let's do the drawing. Here's the other view. There's the web page. So there it is. I did leave the people in there who've already won. I think the people who've already won are Brandon Hua, Corey Carlisle, and Patrick Kelly. Those three have already won their membership back. I don't think anybody else has. If they have, let me know, and I'll double check it obviously before I pay somebody out. But we'll see. Let's see. What's PNW Bass Candy says was all good on our end, Marvin. Good. So that's good to hear. It's working on their end. It's just us sometimes. There's a little latency. Okay, well let's do it. Let's see who's gonna win. Hopefully it's one of you guys. That'd be exciting. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. I've done this before. Here we go. There it goes. It's you two right there. It's one of you. Yep. Rich.
Hey.
You are the winner, Rich. That's cool.
Right on.
I'm glad we did it live. That is awesome. Let me
Yeah,
go
that's
back to
pretty
the
cool.
other screen. Rich Childs, you're going to get your membership feedback. Congrats.
Yeah.
Way to
Thank
go.
you.
Mike Jarvis was wishing for himself. That's rude. These guys are live. You should be wishing for one of them. Both of them.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That guy's got the luck, too, man, I'll tell you.
with that, I guess let's bid Joff adieu. You can hang around in the green room and listen, or you can sign on and watch if you want and hear what we're talking about. Either way.
Awesome.
If you do
Thanks.
want to chime in, you hear something, just ping me and I'll bring you back in. But
All right.
we're going to focus on
Thanks
Rick
for
now
having
for a
me.
little bit.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming on
Have fun,
board.
guys.
Hope to see you again.
You will.
We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
Rich. All right. It's time for
Yeah.
you. Let's look at your stats here. Jacob said that spin was fishy. Get it? Well done. Well played, sir. All right, so Rich is from Albany, Oregon. He finished 13th in the 2025 AOI race and 9th in the Classic. Right behind tonight's, I should have kept Joff in here for that. And he just left. You were one place behind Joff. He was 8th place in the Classic, and you were 9th place in the Classic. So you two were
Yeah.
neck and neck in the Classic.
Yeah, I think I finished right behind three guys that were tied up.
Yeah,
I was like a quarter inch behind them, and then there was three ahead of me that were all tied up. So it was.
that's great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was potholes was a good time.
Yeah, we're going to dig into that here. You caught a 22.5-inch largemouth last year. That was the second biggest fish across all of our tour events and the 50-50. The only one who beat you was Chris Glover with that record-setting enormous largemouth. So that's pretty impressive.
Sorry, Marvin. It was freezing up on me.
Oh, I was just saying you caught a 22.5-inch largemouth last year, which was the second biggest across all tour events and the 50-50. The only one who beat you was Chris Glover with that giant record-setting largemouth.
Yeah, I remember that. When I caught that, I gave you a call to check it out. I think before I released it. I don't know.
You gotta
I think
tell
I
me, is it
released
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I filmed it, releasing it, but I remember I called you. I was pretty excited.
I had a couple of dead eye fish already from anglers. That's a good segue to talk about it because I asked both of those anglers who submitted it, did you take a video? And one of them sent me the video. yep, here it is. I'm like, great, that's perfect, thank you. And the other, he had culled it already. He said, I think it already culled. And I'm like, oh yeah, it did. You culled it out, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I could tell both of those fish were alive anyway. The video is really more kind of insurance, is the way I see it. If there
Yeah.
is a question about it, if somebody disputes it or something like that, and a lot of times I can tell if the fish looks alive or not, but sometimes you get these fish that just aren't very healthy or something. So it is, with a dead eye, it can be tough to tell.
Yeah.
Cynthia said, great job. And she said, Joff, you are awesome. So that's nice. Of course, now we're talking to Rich, but. So yeah, I'm looking in the wrong place here. Sorry. So you fished 5 out of the 6 tour events last year. You put in.
Yeah.
You put in
I missed
the travel.
I missed one up in Washington.
Yeah,
I plan on doing all 5 this year.
that's great.
It looks like a really good tour season.
I think so. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a solid season. So you were the second biggest bag on day 1, and you were all largemouth, unlike Joff, who was all smallmouth on day 1 of the 50-50. And you had the biggest fish of the 50-50, a 21-inch largemouth. Talk to us about that fish, the biggest fish of day 1.
Yeah, it was. You could tell it was nice when I had him on. It kind of surprised me because I caught all those on reaction baits,
That's great.
and when you get them up though, they were cold to the touch. So it kind of
Yeah.
really surprised you that they chase a little bit.
Yeah.
And they were all like, none were really all that deep. It was like on the outside weed edge,
Got it.
and then some that were more closer to the bank. But yeah, I could tell. And when I got him up there, it was a nice one. I got the 20 and a half a little bit earlier than that.
Sure.
But those were all, it was pretty slow in the morning. And I think that Sunday I was out for 9 or 10 hours. I went out just right at daylight, and I got back about 4:30 or something like that. So it was
John
it was a
was
long
saying the
day.
same thing. He put in a lot of hours on that day to try and get it. I feel like this time of year, this early, there's not a great morning bite anyway. Early morning bite. I feel like it's more that mid morning into afternoon and it's probably temperature related. It starts to warm up and they get
Yeah.
more active.
Yeah, that was they were definitely feeding on Sunday. I had caught one; it had a tail sticking up out of its throat, and then I had 2 other ones that had crawdad antennas sticking out its throat. So
Nice.
they were chomping.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's what happens when it gets a little warmer. Those largemouth, they gotta eat.
oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
not
And then
messing around.
Tuesday I had a chance to go out after work, and that was tough. It wasn't any good. And then Wednesday I went out and I fished a long day then, and I caught, I think, a couple more fish. I caught 9 or 10 that day, and like 93 inches. And the big ones are a little bit smaller. I think I caught a 20 and a quarter and a 19. But it was, I mean, this time of year, I'm like in years past,
Heck.
early March, it's been like if you catch 1 or 2, man, you feel pretty good.
Yeah, Joff
There
and
were
I
some of
talked
those.
about that a little. I think this mild winter we had has made this early March bite better than it usually is, a little better.
Yeah. I remember when we used to do some of those afternoon delights and stuff, you have like 4 or 5 hours, whatever it was.
That's right.
And 1 or 2 fish, sometimes some of the guys would do pretty good, catch 4 or 5, but it always seemed like it was really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did do the afternoon delight usually for that first one for that reason, because the early morning bite when it's cold and and it's dark pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's hopefully be able to do all the tour events this year, and I'm kind of excited for those ones up in Washington.
That's what I was going to ask, if there was any in particular that you you kind of looking at?
Yeah. The 10 mile, I was pretty happy last year. I caught 5. Usually I have a really tough time over on the coastal lakes, and I came in with 5. I was like in the top third, but it didn't matter. I got my full bag, and I was pretty happy.
That's great. Yeah, 10 mile is either great for me or terrible for me. It seems like I do either really well or not well at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, last year was kind of a tough one, I think I skated into AOI with in the 13th spot. I think I got that last spot for the classic, but I kind of like doing that anyway. I kind of like the grind, and
oh
chasing the
yeah,
points.
yeah, absolutely.
Kind of, you almost have to now. You got so many hammers in here. It's
I've talked
tough
to a
to
few people
compete with.
about that, and it's true. I think Dan Walker on one of the early podcasts said it's not the same as it used to be, where you could go and you had a pretty good day, you had a real shot, and now like you got some serious hammers because you got all 3 states people traveling to fish and putting in the time to pre-fish. It's a little challenging to win, and just the numbers are more right. I mean, we set
Yeah,
records all season long last year for our attendance because of the regional format that we switched to, where we do have people from all the states coming to fish. So that was the goal, and it kind of worked out. So I'm
yeah,
pretty happy
yeah.
about
You
that.
did good.
So, same question I asked Joff. What got you into fishing, and then kayak fishing, and then tournament fishing?
Uh, well, my dad worked at a sand and gravel plant, and it was over by Jefferson on the Santiam, and
I know
the
where you're
gravel
talking about.
pits. The gravel pits were, set aside from the river with a dike. So, we'd go down there and fish, and there was some big fish in there. 5, 6 year old kid down there and catch some pigs, and I was pretty well hooked. And then later, in my teenage, fished a lot of the rivers around here, catching the smallmouth. And we had a John boat. We used to go down, and of course, the rivers get low and you can't float anymore. Then I don't know when it was. It was probably 10 years ago. My wife and I got some sit inside kayaks from Dick's Sporting Goods.
Sure.
Did that, man. It just killed my back, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, then we, I think a year or two later, we went into some Jackson Cousas, and a little bit more of it was actually a fishing kayak, and had a lot of fun doing that. And then not too long after that, COVID had come around, and that was the first year I competed with you guys.
Yeah.
And I learned really fast, just to, paddle kayaks are good, but whenever you got to deal with the wind, it's just,
If there's any wind, it's a
yeah.
bear.
So that
You
next year I
basically got to
stepped
use an
into the
anchor if
Hobie.
there's any wind.
Yeah, yeah. So that next year I stepped into the Hobie with pedal drives, and that was the thing right there, you know. And then eventually we all stepped into the motors.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's just sort of the direction it's going, I guess, right? And
yep, yep.
you mentioned upgrading to the Hobie, so that was my next question for you: is what kayak are you going to be running in this season, or like Joff, is it top secret at this point?
No, no. I still have my PA, but
Good.
over Christmas, I got an email from Peak Sports, which is a sporting outfit over here in Corvallis, and they dabbled in the fishing kayaks for a year
Right.
or two.
Right.
They decided to get all out of it, so they had, like, the 12 days of Christmas or whatever. Anyways, one of those was they had an Outback and a PA. Both were brand new, for half price. So I called him up. I said, "Hey, you still got that Outback?" "Oh yeah, yeah." And I said, "Hey, I'll be over after work. Hold it for me." So it was the Dune Cambo color that I wanted and everything. And I went over there, and they said, "Well, it's actually been used once as a demo, but it's brand new."
Yeah,
So
that's not
I
gonna.
mean, half price, you can't. I
Oh,
was looking other directions. I was looking into the Hammer, and also the Bonafide. Uh, but with this, it's kind of the small pedal drive. So I thought, I'll work
yeah.
on this.
Yeah, the
Um,
Outback and the Hammer are kind of in the same class of kayaks, I would
yeah,
say. A
yeah.
little lighter, not as super wide and not as heavy as the PA and the tight necks. Yeah.
I would like to try that. Oh, the new canoe, Max.
Oh, the Max. Yeah.
Looks, yeah, that looks pretty interesting. But there's no pedal drive. But they said it paddles good. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get out someplace and then have a motor go on fritz on you or something like that and have to.
Yeah, if you're far, I mean, Kegan and I talked about that with the Hammer and the Titan and stuff because the Titan paddles terribly. I mean, it'd be like trying to paddle a Hobie PA. I would not want to
Yeah,
paddle a PA. But the Hammer, I took it out paddling and it paddled really well. I mean, it was quick and easy to paddle. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to motor out 4 miles and then my motor die and have to paddle 4 miles back. That'd be a bit of a haul.
yeah. And yeah, I'll probably just leave the Outback just how it is. I probably won't put a motor on it. Everybody I've talked to, they all say that that's a fast boat
It
for
is.
pedal drive.
It is. It's a quick boat. If I was not a native guy, and if I was a Hobie guy, I'd probably be in an Outback. That would sort of be my style, I think.
Yeah. So I'll probably put just bare electronics on it. I ordered up an extra oh attachment for the fish finder, so I'll just switch my graph from one to the other, have it all
Sure.
set up, ready to go. So
And you've got the on the PA. Which motor are you using on that? The 180 Pro? Is that?
no, I have the oh the 1103
Oh, you
or
have
is
the
it
Torpedo.
1104? Is
That's
that what
right.
they're yeah, what's that what they're calling it? 1104 now, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they call it
travel.
the Travel Ultralight now. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a bigger one. I don't even know if they offer the 180 anymore, do they? Or the
The
smaller one?
Pro,
The
the
oh,
180 Pro.
403, 403. Yeah,
Yeah, which would
403
be
is
the
what it's
403 in Torpedo lingo.
called.
Yeah, they don't, which is too bad because like I think if you've got a smaller, lighter kayak, it's a good option. You know?
Yeah, I had that the 180, the Newport 180,
Yeah, that's what I
and that
remember.
was that was a really economical motor. I mean, heck, the 24-volt on that, it lasts you like a 3-day weekend.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I've never run out with my 300, but I've got a big giant battery for it, 60 amp, 30,
Yeah,
36 volt. So yeah.
yeah. I picked up a second motor for that motor, and it just in case you're someplace where you might not have a chance to hook up to
Sure.
shore power.
Sure.
So just have to be kind
Mark
of
chimed in, said he liked his Outback.
yeah. He's had a couple,
He has.
and the funny story is about that too. Is I always had in my mind I'd like to have a Outback just to try it. It's kind of like I'd like to try this, like try that. But he was telling me a story. He had a hole in his. I think it was through the scupper hole. It was leaking water.
I remember
And he
that.
said he went out fishing all day long and it was full of water. And he said he couldn't tell until he got to the ramp and he said he couldn't lift the thing. And I thought, well, you know what? I said, that's kind of a testament to
It
pretty good
is.
hull design.
To it being stable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen people on the Hobies who like forget to put their plug in
Yeah.
and take on water for a few hours. And one did flip. One of the guys I was out with did flip when he did that. You get a hull full of water. It's not as stable.
No, no. No.
So how about forward facing? You using forward facing yet?
Yeah. I ran that last year
Okay.
and still getting used to it. What turned me onto it was I could get the Mega Live 2 and just run it right into. I didn't have to have a black box or anything like that. I could just plug it right into my Humminbird fish finder, and I just got a separate battery for it, and then one for the fish finder, and it works pretty good. You can have it on the same screen and everything, and it's convenient,
Sure. That's cool.
and it's a it's a learning curve, yeah. And there's
Just
some of
like
these
Josh was
guys out
saying.
here that
Yeah.
are, yeah, a lot of these guys out here, they've already got it all dialed in. And I don't know. it's okay. Sometimes, I could see where somebody could just burn a whole lot of time looking at that screen,
Mm-hmm.
but when it's on, when you get onto something, it's fun. You can pick up those fish. It's like they say, playing a video game.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
watching them bite and stuff. You can see one coming down the river, and you throw out there your little minnow, and you start working it back, and here it comes, and it's like everything just works out great for you. And other times though, it's like, geez, just turn it off.
Yeah, well, I've been out with people fishing and getting frustrated with it who've done that, who've just turned it off and been like, I'm just going to fish.
Yeah, yeah,
I forgot to mention, it was probably good to do it now since we did talk to Joff about it a little bit, but at the Classic, during the meeting, I asked some of these questions to everybody that had qualified for the Classic. So these were the cream of the crop anglers from KFNW for last year who had done well enough to qualify for the Classic. And I asked, how many of you are running motors? And it was about half that said yes, they were running a motor, maybe just more than half. And then I asked how many are running forward facing, and it was very few. It was like maybe 5, and we had over 20 people there. So it was maybe a quarter that said they were running forward facing. And then I said, how many of you are not running either? You don't have a motor and you don't have forward facing. And I was surprised. It was almost half the field. It was like over a
really.
third of the field that weren't running either one and had a really good season, obviously, because they were there at the Classic. So it sort of reinforced what I've felt all the time, that like the technology and the tools are great, but ultimately, can you catch fish? Like there are people that are just more fishy. They just spend more time fishing, and they just have that ability. And I found that kind of cool because, especially when you see all these Randy Blaukets and people who are like so religiously against forward facing that it's you see all the time people saying, oh, it's cheating if you're using that, it's cheating. Well, it's not cheating if the rules allow it, then it's certainly not cheating.
Right.
But is it an unfair advantage? Like, that's the question, I guess. And I don't know, I feel like it's just another tool. I mean, we already use all these crazy tools, right? Like the fishing rods we use, the reels we use, everything we use is like great technology. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah. I mean, the way you got to look at it is, you as a tournament director, it's like, what do you deem as, acceptable for the tour event?
Sure.
And after that, everybody's got the opportunity to do that, and that's where you go.
Yeah, and there's an element of that I have to look at of what do people want, what's popular. I mean, it's one thing to have principles about it and say, well, I don't believe in forward facing, so I'm going to outlaw it. I'm going to say you can't use it or something like that. But if that's what all the anglers want to use, I mean, it's the same thing with motors. That's why with the motors, we took votes on it a number of times. I think we took a total of like 4 votes on it. Some before you were even fishing with us. The first 1 or 2 votes was before you were with us, and probably 2 votes that you participated in. And every time it got shot down until that last time a few years ago, and it was like 2-1 in favor of allowing motors. So things changed, the tide had shifted.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked up a bow mount that I was going to have the shaft cut down on it. Because I didn't want to go with the 55. I wanted with the, that's why I talked to you about it. It was a 80-pound Trova.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had called me about that. Yeah.
So, but that's why I was kind of thinking about maybe the new Canoe Max, put it on there and see how that does. But
it's a good bow mount platform, and the Titan X and the Hammer are both really good bow mount platforms. I think if you're going to do a bow mount, in my opinion, you should have a bigger kayak. You should have a 12-foot plus kayak, and something that really can support a bow mount.
Yeah, I see some people running them on the Hobies. I
Oh
think
yeah,
Damon does.
I've seen them
So
on the Hobie 12 and 14, no problem.
mhm, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just like the stern mount better on the Hobie. You know, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did try it real briefly. Whatever that was, probably back in 21 when I first got that Hobie from Next Adventure. Yeah, I didn't like it. It just kind of seemed like it sat down too far in the front. A little
right,
bit too much weight.
right. And it's for me, I wouldn't. I don't. I'm more of a stern mount person too, and it feels like it would be in the way up there. I mean, I cross over the kayak all the time with my rods and stuff because I always tend to land my fish on the left, and I just have a feeling I'd get the line or the fish caught up in it and bump the rod into it. Casting, it feels like it'd be kind of in the way, and even if you cut the shaft
Yeah,
down and get it down low, I don't know. That's me.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're used to skipping Senkos and stuff underneath the brush and up on the shoreline and stuff, I think it would. You'd
That's
have
me.
to really
Adjust.
do something.
I
So,
mean,
yeah,
unless you're
something.
standing a lot, which I don't stand a lot either. So if you're standing a lot, then it's probably a non-issue. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brandon's got a request. Can we end the 50-50 tonight? No, we can't.
I
Mr.
still got to
10
get my
fish,
smallmouth.
the
I
only
still got to
guy
get my
with 10
smallmouth.
fish.
Yeah, and they're probably already. What is he already over 200? 200,
No, he's
205
not over
inches or something?
200. Although he put up some good largemouth. I'm sure you saw that. He had a great day of
Yeah.
largemouth. Um, so yeah, he's not over 200, but he's got a pretty good score and the only 10, so that's good.
Yeah, that man, I couldn't believe that last year. 216, wasn't that what the final was? I mean,
I
just
think
that.
that's right. It was right around there. Um, Junior Zarate
I
says
mean,
hello. Good to have a junior. Um, any other gear upgrades or changes you got planned for the year?
not too many. I just picked up some fishing poles and reels and stuff. The Christmas sells.
Nice.
Merry Christmas myself, kind of thing.
I'm uh, I'm finishing up rigging out my hammer, getting it ready. I've got a few little new things I'm doing with it. Nothing major, just accessories and stuff. But yeah, kind of excited about it. Hope it works out well.
Yeah, yeah. I had to do a couple things for the that Outback. The electronics and put a deck mat on it. So that was something different a little bit.
Sure.
It's too short to put a wrap on. I looked at it and I thought about putting a wrap on there,
It
and
is.
so
It's kind of a low profile kayak,
yeah,
which is good
yeah.
for wind and
But
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, there's one company that makes, I think, wraps just for the Outback, but I don't know. The Elite Graphics is what I put on the PA. I think the same as what Brandon did. Well, that's where I got the idea from, and on one of his videos. But I don't know. I kind of like it. It kind of makes it look a little bit more unique. You know?
It's cool. Yeah. I just had Matt Burdick print some vinyl for me of the companies that I'm with and my numbers and everything. So they're all going to kind of match, and I'll put them in a stripe on it. But I like my green
Oh, that'd be
kayak
cool.
too. Yeah, it'll look good. I think it should look sharp.
Yeah,
The problem with you when you buy like individual decals from the different companies you work with and stuff, they don't match size wise or color wise or anything. It's kind of challenging sometimes to get it
yeah,
looking kind of polished. Um,
yeah.
Brandon
That'd
said
be
it's
just
worth
like
a
the big
try.
bass boats.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got a lot. There's a lot more real estate. It's tough to get stuff on the kayak where you can read it all and see it all because there's just not a lot of real estate vertically.
Right.
So one question I asked Joff, I'd love to get your feedback on too, because you really do fish both of them a lot. Is like, what's different about your approach for online versus tour events, and what do you see as like the key difference of what it takes to do well in either one?
Well, the tour events. I mean, I take my vacation and I go and I try to do some pre fishing on it. And if there's any YouTube, or I do a lot of, I look on the
Research.
maps,
Sure.
yeah, do your research online. Uh, Now with the online, it's just all when I can get there when I'm not working, so unfortunately, uh, I do got to work a lot. So
I hear you on
I made a
that.
joke. I made a joke last year about how the work was getting in the way of fishing, but I got a ways to go. I got about another 7 years before I can even start to think about.
I think you said to me
Fishing
last time we
also.
talked, like, I don't want to wish for the future to come too fast, but I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to 7 years from now when I can retire and fish.
yeah, yeah. It'll be fun when you can just wake up and go fishing whenever you want,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and you don't have to go fishing on just the weekends. You can go fishing in the middle of the week.
That's right. Well, and I mean, let's face it, that does make a difference in the onlines. It's time on the water. It's just being able to hit
Yeah,
places because we all know, like, you just have those days where there's just something magical happens and you're out there and the fish are just on it. They're like angry and hungry and ready to bite. And then you have other days where it's just like you struggle just to pick up a couple of fish.
oh yeah, yeah. And I think back in 23 when I did pretty good on that year long. Uh, I didn't. My work was schedule was a lot lighter. The load was a lot lighter. I was able to get off at 2 o'clock every day, so I was able to actually go out and go fishing after work. And I spent, yeah, more than it was 3 or 4 at least, and sometimes 7 days a week. And you know,
That's
and I
work.
had a
That's a
good year that
job.
year. But that's probably because I spent all the time on the water. Is probably why I did good.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and around that time, like you were saying, when you first started fishing with us, it was around COVID time when there just wasn't a lot else you could do. I mean, we could still go
yeah,
out and fish. We could kayak and fish, which was cool because you were definitely socially distancing and not. But yeah, now there's other distractions.
yeah. And I mean, in the valley here, you got a lot of options.
Yeah, it's true.
And you don't
You're
have
in
to
a good
drive that
spot.
far. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to drive that far if you don't want to. I mean, you may not be able to reliably knock out, huge fish, but there's definitely places that are, within an hour drive that have huge fish.
Yeah, you've got some great options down in Albany, and honestly, even in 3 hours you can get to a lot of really good stuff. And in an
Oh yeah,
hour and a half, you definitely have some great options as well. It's
yeah,
not quite as good for me up here. I mean, obviously, we both have waters that are closer to us that we like to fish. That it's easier because we're closer to them. But yeah, you've got, especially for largemouth, you've got some great options down there.
yeah. Down south a little ways, and then, if you want to, I mean,
Like,
well, there's smallmouth right here, but if you want to go get some,
that's right.
everybody up onto Columbia, it's, a couple hour drive.
Yeah, yeah, and it's obviously that's not closer for me being in Portland. I can get to Columbia, but
Yeah.
and then the coastal stuff. You're closer to the coastal stuff than I am too. You said
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
social with
I
those,
mean,
but
yeah, I should spend a little bit more time on that,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's
Really, I mean,
something.
they're such unique fisheries. I've never been anywhere else in the country that has fisheries like that are just right on the ocean, basically. Just a sand dune separating these
Yeah,
lakes from the ocean, and largemouth just loving it.
yeah. That's the one thing, I mean, Oregon, Washington is beautiful too, but Oregon, you get out and, that's kind of a nice thing, especially farther east you get on the Columbia, you can be out there all by yourself most of the day if you want to
Oh
be,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
just
not that busy, and it's a lot of
serene.
water.
Yeah, yeah,
It's interesting when we look at the three states that we have, how different the fisheries are in each area, in each state. I mean, they're very different. Even Western Washington and Oregon, they're very different. The lakes up there, they're smaller, and they're real clear. The clarity in those lakes is really good in Western Washington, and ours are they're not they're not clear, but they're not muddy usually.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
somewhere in between. They've got a little dingy, but still some decent clarity. But yeah, when I first fished a few events up there, I was like, wow, these small lakes are crazy clear, and it's the weeds they've got growing in them.
Yeah. And that's the thing I like about your organization is it really opens up a lot of stuff. So it does. I mean, you can say it forces you, but I don't really look at it as it's forcing me,
Twist my arm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You get to get out and fish a lot of different places, and it opens up a lot of stuff that you probably never see before.
I talked to Corey about that when he was on the podcast, and because he gets around. I don't, I'm not giving out GPS coordinates to where people are fishing, but he doesn't fish the same spot all the time. And some people do. Some people tend to fish the same areas all the time. I get bored, honestly, if I'm just going out to the same place all the time, hitting it. I like to mix it up and try different places and travel a little bit. And so, yeah, that partially that comes from me. I mean, Aaron did that too when he was running it. It was just Oregon then, but he covered all of Oregon, up and down. And I liked that about it. And so when I took over, I kind of just kept that as our style, our motto. I see some of the smaller bass boat clubs, and they have like the same schedule every year. Like it's almost all the same events on the same weekends, basically. Like,
Yeah, that'd get old.
yeah, not even changing the season, because like we were talking about those coastal lakes, they fish very differently in the spring and the fall, and so you can switch that up. Like maybe you do the same lake, but you do it a different time of year, and it's totally different.
Yeah, I know, the numbers that you're getting now, it does kind of force your hand into having to go on certain lakes, for the
That's
size.
the biggest downside, I would say, to having bigger numbers is there's a lot of places we just can't fish anymore. They're too
Yeah.
small. They can't support 50, 75 people, or even 100 plus people for some of the events. So yeah, it has narrowed the field of how many places we can go and fish. But that's kind of where the spring open and the summer opens come in too. Like that's sort of going back to the old days where we're going to have 4 events the same day in the 4 corners of the Northwest. And yeah, we'll have, maybe 20 or 30 people there fishing each of those, which is great. That's a nice small field.
Yeah.
We can go to some of the places we don't fish anymore. Like we're doing Crane this year, which we haven't fished in a couple of years because our numbers had gotten big. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's fun to go there, and especially in the high summer because it's a little cooler
Yes.
down near Bend.
Yeah.
And some of the
And
people
it's
are
so
really
pretty
excited
that,
about Sammamish, same thing up in Western Washington. We've never fished there because it's kind of too small. But for the open, team open, yeah, no problem. We can do it.
yeah. And there's a lot of places up there in Washington I like to go look
Yeah.
at.
What's your take on the opens, on the question I posed about? I should have asked Joff that too, about teams or individuals. We're definitely, for the spring one, we're definitely going to keep that no matter what. We're going to keep that as the
As a spring, or
as a team
as a team.
event, the
Yeah.
pro-am style team event. But what about the summer open? Do you think we ought to still do it as a team? Brandon influenced me a lot on that when he gave me his opinion, because he's like, if we don't do that, then the newbies are kind of at a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. I mean, if it's just the people that are already in the organization, say they've already fished a handful of tour events by then, or a couple, 2 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be all right to do the singles. But I mean, I understand, having the team events, it's there to kind of help guide somebody into how you do stuff and make them feel a little bit more comfortable.
I'm leaning
So,
that way, and based on the responses I saw to the post, it was kind of leaning that way, and I'm open minded about it. I'm not fixed, but I feel like for the brotherhood of it, the brotherhood sisterhood of it, of people meeting other people and fishing with them and learning about it, being able to teach them how it works without the pressure of like, oh, I've got to, I'm afraid what could happen with it is we won't get the newbies. We won't get people who have fished none or one of one or two events or something like that. I think we'll end up only getting some of the regulars, and not as many of those because some of them don't fish the opens because it's not AOI and it's not as much money and all that stuff. So, but that's you. I don't care about that. I mean, I think it's just fun to get out there and have a little lower pressure event.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, for some of the guys, it's just, well, me in particular, sometimes it gets kind of tough with the vacations too, and then whatever your workload is at the time.
Sure. But they're closer too.
That's true.
I mean, our first one's at Dorina again, and that's like half an hour for you. Yeah, it's a breeze, and it's only a couple hours for me, so it's not bad. And Crane's a little further for you, but still not far.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my hope.
Yeah, I like the traveling. It's just, yeah.
I think especially if you're going to the classic, or not the classic, to the West Coast Championship. That was one of the big reasons we did it. Took a tour event out of August. Is if you're already going to the West Coast Championship, that's going to be a big trip for any of us, right? That's a long haul down there. And so having a tour event that, like, for us, like, let's say it was Coeur d'Alene or something, like, to travel to Coeur d'Alene in August and then turn around and travel down to Clear Lake in August, that's a lot. That's a lot for anybody to do. And I don't want people to feel like they have to pick one or the other. So this way they can skip the Open if they don't want to fish. If they're going to the West Coast and they don't want to fish another weekend, great. Then just don't do it. That's fine. Or do it, and maybe it's only an hour or two away from you, and so it's a shorter event. It's a 6-hour event, so you could drive out there that morning or the night before and drive back the same day. Not that big a deal.
Yeah.
We got Pat Moore disagreeing with me about Sammamish. You said this multiple times. Sammamish is too small. Dude, it's over 7 miles long. That's twice the area of a Soyuz. Well, a Soyuz is too small, too. I hate to break it to you, Pat. But for the number of people we get now, they're both too small. Maybe we could have done Sammamish back in the day when we were doing the 3 local series. But with our current lineup, there's no way. It's too small. And then Brandon's chiming in on the team stuff. Let's see what he said. For me, some people decide to get interest in kayak tournaments later in the year, and a summer team open is a great opportunity for them to jump in sooner rather than the next spring. I agree with that 100%. There's so many times somebody finds out about us in the middle of the season, and I've done it, and I've seen other people do it, is just say, well, wait till next spring and come to the Open.
And then you got to go all through winter and might just forget all about it,
Absolutely. I mean, that's not what we want, ideally. So, I mean, unless they're gunning for AOI or something like that, then yeah, you should probably wait until the next season because you're, or Rookie of the Year rather, not AOI. If you're gunning for Rookie of the Year, then you're probably best to wait. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the more tournaments you do, the more experience you get, and it's just easier and easier and easier,
Sure.
You don't have the nerves. I mean, like that first tournament, you have a little bit of nerves, but after 2 or 3, 4 years, it gets better and better,
Yeah, absolutely. I've riled up the Washington guys. Now Pat Kelly's saying 4,853 acres for Sammamish. Sorry, guys. That's my take, but I can be wrong. We'll check it out, but we've never done it before for some reason. But we'll do it. Pat agrees. A Soyuz is too small. We did think about doing a classic at a Soyuz, which would be interesting because that's a smaller field. We can do the classic wherever we want. I mean, that's like 25 anglers, maybe 30 anglers.
Yeah, I'd like to go up there and fish that sometime. I
Yeah,
missed
me
out
too.
on the other two.
Me too. I missed them both, and I
Well,
would
actually,
like
the
to check
one
it out.
had what a fire up there that one season.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Pat's saying it's because of wake boats, and there's some logic to that, and that's something we take into account down here in Oregon too. Is which places are popular with the wake boaters. Um, we used to
Yeah, I
do.
remember that last time, or that one. Maybe it was just the one time we were over there at Lake Billy Chinook.
Oh
That
yeah,
got bad
it was
afternoon.
rough. It was rough. I was down in the river, so it wasn't bad for me down way down in the Deschutes arm. I was way down there. I think it was the Deschutes arm, and so I didn't notice it until I got back. I was coming back to the ramp, and then yeah, there was just waves everywhere, wakes. Yeah, it was rough. Junior said classic at Osoyoos would be awesome. Yeah, I think it would. I think it would. We considered it last year because it was Washington. It was time for a Washington location, but we ended up
I don't
going
know
with
if you can
Potholes instead.
hear me or see me, but that froze up pretty good again.
Oh yeah, it never went down for me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it never went
yeah,
down
that
for
was
me.
froze up
So
for like 30 seconds. That's pretty long.
all good. Yeah, I just was saying. Junior said the classic could be great at Osoyoos as well, and we had considered doing it last year, but we decided on Potholes instead, and went with that.
Yeah,
This year
yeah, you
we
could do
don't.
like the very first Bassmaster Classic. You just not tell anybody and just load them all up and take them to the lake, and here
Man,
we
I
go.
would love to do that. We have tried to do that sort of thing. I love the idea of that, but people freak out when I start talking about stuff like that. Like we were going to do a. You remember I asked we were going to do an off limits up until the event for Potholes. We're like, what do you
Yeah,
guys think about just making it off limits? No pre fishing, no practice, because I love that. I think putting everybody out there on an even playing field and saying have at it. I mean, people who fish it a lot have a little bit of an advantage because they've got their memory. But memory can burn you too. You can fish your memories and it screw you up sometimes because
yeah,
you expect the fish to be somewhere doing something and they're not. And you're like determined that well they should be biting this. I've made that mistake. But yeah, I'd love to do that. And I know there was a boat tournament series that was doing that. They're kind of elite series where they'd have people just show up somewhere and that morning and say, okay, this is where we're fishing, go. And it was like an hour away or something. They'd have to take off and go there with no practice. Pretty cool.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun.
How
It
you
would be
feeling?
tough.
Oh, yeah, I agree. How you feeling about the Classic this year on the Bonneville pool on
I'd like to
Columbia?
make it. Yeah, I'd like to make it, but well, I guess we'll see what happens after about 2 or 3 tour events.
Yeah. Well, I
Like I
hope
say,
you.
I kind of like the chase the points part of it. I mean,
Sure.
uh, and you get what is it, 10% of the top
Of
qualify
every
and stuff.
event. Yeah, of every event. And then the AOI, we squeaked a few people in there by giving the top 10% of AOI too, which turned out to be really a good move.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Yeah, that I got lucky on that one.
You and Jim Carey both got in and had decent tournaments.
Yeah,
But yeah, we ended up qualifying like three. Lacey Duggar qualified that way. There were 3 or 4 people who qualified that way, and they were all. I looked at the names. I was like, these people deserve to be in there because they put in the time, they worked hard, and they had a decent season. Maybe not on the podium, but still a good season.
yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the points go, I mean, what was it last year in the Bassmasters? Or one of the Johnsons, Chris Johnson, won Angler of the Year, and I think it said that he never even finished in the top 10 all season long. So it just kind of goes to show you, well, it's like you're always saying, consistency.
Consistency. Yeah, Brandon won AOI last year. He didn't win any events. He was on the podium a lot, but he
But
didn't
yeah, he
win.
did really good.
He did. He had a
He
hell
did
of a
really
season.
good. Yeah.
And see, we got two guys chiming in on this. We're going to have to put this to a vote again, I think, with the Bonneville pool. We're going to have to figure it out. But Junior's saying no pre-fish would be a great option for at least one event in the year. And Corey says +1, no practice. Of course, Corey does. He fishes
Yeah,
all
I
these
mean,
places anyway.
yeah, it'd be fun, you know.
It would. I think it would. I'll have to figure it out how if we want to do it, or I'll do the same thing. I'll take a vote. We took a vote last year, and there were a few people who were like, "Oh, if we do that, I'm not going to fish the classic." I was like, "Oh, well, that kind of sucks." Like, really, you don't feel like you can go out and compete with a lot of other people that are in the same boat as you? I don't know.
Yeah. What'd be really fun is just some random lake that
None
probably
of us have
nobody's
fished.
fished. Like say, yeah, like I mean, you know, like down in Northern California or
A
something like that.
fly-in.
Just take it. Just everybody,
Yeah.
just go down there and fish, and you know.
I'm going to be doing that later this year. I'm going to be flying down and fishing Santee Cooper in South Carolina in a little kind of informal tournament. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and I've never fished it, so that'll be a little exciting. All
Yeah.
borrowed gear and everything. I mean, I'll probably bring a couple of rods, and some of my tackle.
Do you have
But
any
yeah,
travel rods? Any of the breakdown ones?
what's that? I've got some 2 pieces. Yeah, which works. That works fine for travel. They fish fine. And I've got a case for 1 piece, and I have done that. I've carried a big 1-piece case with like 5 or 6 rods in it to go to Canada and stuff like that when I've fished other parts of the country. My uncle and I usually will do a fishing trip sometime in the year, and I'll go see him in Pennsylvania, or we'll go to Montana or somewhere else, or he'll come out here. He came out and see me in Arizona
Yeah.
when I was there too. So yeah, it's fun.
You've had pretty good opportunities fishing different places like Susquehanna and
Oh yeah,
down in
yeah. He
Arizona.
lives right by the Susky, so I've fished it a handful of times. It's fun.
Yeah, that's Sherry and I talked about that after we get retired. It'd be kind of fun to just start off like in Texas or Florida, and when it started to get warmer, just head
Heck yeah,
north
yeah.
as it gets warm. You know, because it looks like there's a lot of good fishing up in New York.
Oh yeah, the Finger Lakes, all that stuff is just killer. They dominated in the northern New York people dominated in that national native event that we did, the nationwide one with people from all 4 time zones. For
Yeah,
smallmouth, for the no limit, not for the they weren't catching the giant largemouth that people were catching in Florida or Texas or California. But
yeah. When Greg Blanchard goes up there and was that Cayuga or whatever, one of the Finger
oh yeah,
Lakes.
he grew up there in New York. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like that one lake. He does good both largemouth and smallmouth, just kind of in one lake.
yeah, yeah. I grew up in New Jersey and fished. There weren't smallmouth there, but there were a lot of largemouth and pickerel and stuff, and that's what I grew up fishing for. And I was born in Alabama and started before I can even remember. Like Joff was talking about when I was 3 or 4 or something. I was catching bluegill, brim, as they call them down there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, cool.
That's always
Anything
that's a good
else?
thing.
I what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say that's one thing, little kids and fishing.
Oh yeah,
I always thought that was probably one of the best fishermen on the planet is a little 6-year-old kid not knowing what he's doing. Go out there and catch the biggest fish.
amen. Yeah, that's great. Anybody you want to thank? I know you're not really a sponsor guy, but anybody you'd like to shout out?
Ah, I gotta thank my wife for letting me go fishing all the time.
Nice. Well, you can bring her with you sometimes.
Oh yeah, she does come. But
Yeah, she does well she's done the onlines as well. Well,
yeah,
that's great. Thanks a ton for coming on with me and talking. Like I said to Joff, I hope to see you again on the pod if you get on the podium.
well, yeah, it'd be nice. I hope so. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you got a lot of good people
Some
in
good
there.
competition. It's great.
It's pretty tough.
I love
Get
that
up
though.
there.
That
Oh yeah.
excites me. The good competition. It's.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you and I talked about that a while back. We had a few years where people really dominated They won like multiple tour events in a season. It'd be very hard to do that right now. To win 2 or 3 tour events in a season, you're doing something really well if you can pull that off.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's definitely, there's definitely some guys in the club that could probably do that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think we got some.
but they didn't,
We got some.
and they
Yeah,
didn't
we got some
last
pretty
year.
good fishermen.
And yeah, we do. But that's the thing. Like if we only had one that was, but we don't. We got multiple people that are all really good, and they're right there behind you if you if you miss a fish.
Oh yeah,
all you got to do is lose one fish, and you that may be the difference in somebody else winning and you coming in third.
yeah. That's like up on the Willamette last year when we were fishing. I had 2 14-inchers jump off the board when the first one happened, and I was kind of like, no, catch another one. It ended up being kind of a tough tournament,
It was.
and I only had four fish for that tournament, I believe. And I mean, I don't remember what the heck I finished in the teens or something like that. And if I just another 14-incher, and then the one I had a 12 and a half was my small one. If I'd have had the other 14 something, I would have had, been up like almost in 7th place if everybody else would have stayed the same. But
Yeah.
that happens with everybody, So
Sure. We should have counted walleye for that tournament. Then we'd have had limits.
bonus fish.
That's right. Well, thanks again for joining me. Appreciate having you on, and it's always fun to chat with you. And I'll see you pretty soon here as we get things rolling.
Yeah. Thanks, Marvin. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.